What's up, aspirants? This is Roman Sani back again with another exciting episode and Relive the Past series. I'm just kidding, it's just a boring, banal topic in modern history. Anyways, this is our channel, An Academy, youtube.com/slash An Academy UPSC. It's a new channel dedicated entirely for UPSC aspirants. Cool, so do like, share, and subscribe. So, this is the Relive the Past. We already talked about Industrial Revolution in the past. So, brief recap for those who have not watched the first video. So this series obviously conceptualized by me. Read more about me on facebook.com/romansenna.official. This was the topic which we were covering, which was Industrial Revolution. These are the two picks which I described very well in the last videos. Do go and watch the last video. This was the question: do you think an industrial revolution ever happened in India? Do comment in the comment section below for this tool. And this was the basic theme around which the industrial revolution topic was being explained by me. Come on guys, wake up, it's still morning or night at whatever time you're watching it. So the introduction, reasons for industrial revolution, salient features of industrial revolution, and evaluation of industrial revolution. So it was characterized by beginning of machine age, mass production at an unprecedented scale, beginning of modern world, still ongoing process. We have already dealt with this, so I won't be repeating it again. These are the major reasons: geographical discoveries, emergence of new capitalist class, new inventions, scientific discoveries, and these were the industries which were developed, and these were the major inventions being done. Okay guys, this was the reason I already explained in the last video, as you might be knowing. These are the salient features. So we will start from the salient feature. The first salient feature being why England was the epicenter. See, it's said that in British Empire in mid 19th century the sun never used to set. Sun never set. What do you mean by it? It means that there are, at any given point of time, the earth is divided into 24-hour zones, right? So at any given point of time, the sun is either here or here or here or here. So nowhere in the world was there not a colony for Britishers, so that at each and every part of the world, at each and every moment of the 24 hours, sun was shining somewhere. So that was the might of the British Empire back then. So why did industrial revolution happen in England? So this is the reason why it happened in England. Large finances was available from colonial exploits, disappearance of serfdom and enclosure movement. See, what do you mean by large finances available from colonial exploits? First point, India ka sara resources was taken to England, and then what these guys used to do is they used to dump their manufacturing products back in India. So the huge finances gained from these exploits, not only India, there were many countries. You watch Commonwealth Games, all the countries more or less were under British Empire once upon a time. Serfdom was, enclosure movement was this. There was a common land. Okay. So this was dedicated to all the people of Britain. Whoever was present, it was community land. But what these capitalist guys did was they converted into a private land, and they started owning it, and then they started producing on it. So the large majority of the population, they became unemployed, right? And they had no option but to work for factories, work for the factories. Cool. So they had no option but to work for the factories, and this was what we called as the enclosure movement. And disappearance of serfdom, obviously they were feudal kind of guys, so it led to the disappearance of that, led to the beginning of factory production and industrial revolution. The third point, which was of course the natural point, which England did not do anything about, they were already present. There was a huge abundance of coal and iron. It was one of the largest producer of coal and iron in mid 18th century when the industrial revolution happened. And finally, because of all these three factors, there was a stable government, because the parliamentary democracy is about 1,000 years old, about 1,000 years old, and it was finally backed by a mighty navy. You must have heard about East India Company and all. So these were the part of the mighty navy. See, the salient features, the second salient feature I want to talk about in detail is the textile sector. How was the textile sector important? See, there was huge amount of British money which was spent in importing Indian clothes. Let me give you an example. This is a girl called Barbara in Britain, and she's asking her mum that I want to buy only the muslins, the best muslin available. It was a cotton which was produced in Dhaka, which was part of India back then. So she wants to buy it. Now her father has to spend, let's say, £2 to get this imported. So multiply this by population of Britain, and that much amount of pounds were being pumped into India. Cool. So this was leading to what we called as import Indian clothes into the Britain and give away their wealth to India. So now what these manufacturing guys did was this. They took development of spinning wheel, as I already told, what was called cotton gin or cotton guinea, whatever you want to call it. So what they did along with the sewing machine, they started producing these clothes in England. One of the most important center was Manchester, which got huge boost because of these development of these machines, and it reversed the drain of the wealth. That is, now it was dumping of Indian clothes was being done in the British and Indian markets, and the money was transferred from India to Britain. So this was in brief about the textile sector. So these were the two salient features. First was the England one, and second one was textile sector. Huge boost to textile sector, unprecedented, unheard of. And they, the clothes made were dirt cheap, literally. Matlab, right now you go to Palika Bazaar in Delhi and you can get clothes in 50 to 100 rupees easily. So it was something like that back then. Commercialization of agriculture. See, earlier what we used to do is we used to grow wheat, we used to grow rice, we used to grow pulses, and we were content and we were happy because everything else was provided by Mother Nature. Now these Britishers came and no, you can't grow these, you can't grow that. We need cash crops, we need cash, we need money for colonial exploitation. So now we started to grow cotton. Till date, entire Maharashtra, Deccan Plateau, they grow these cotton only till date. Indigo, made famous by Mahatma Gandhi. Plus, if you want to read more about it, read the Neel Darpan book by Deen Bandhu. Then opium wars are very famous in China, and the tobacco. So these are the four major cash crops. So this was only possible because of industrial revolution. Otherwise, how can you possibly imagine growing cash crops in 1750 when people were more than happy and living with their rice, wheat, and pulses? So the kind of machineries which were provided and the kind of boost which was provided in form of money, it lead to commercialization of agriculture. Now the final thing was development of infrastructure. So the four salient point is development of railways. Each and every one of you knows 1853 is the year. India was one of the first countries. India was one of the first countries to get railways. It was from Mumbai to Thane. And another interesting story regarding railways. Have you heard of Indus Valley civilization? Of course you have. So in 1856, when they were digging in Pakistan, now present day Pakistan, so that's where they find bricks, and that led to the discovery of Indus Valley civilization. So it is also related to railways. Anyways, this is a story for another day. So now macadamized roads. What do you mean by academized roads? So macadam was a guy, and till date there were what we call in today's India the kacha roads. The kacha roads were very prevalent. So he developed a chemical, the damer, what we called. So it was called macadams, and the road which was made by this, the Pakka road, so called the Pakka roads, which we see in our metros, not in villages till date, and this happened way back in late 18th century. So this was called as the macadamized roads. And finally, the development of penny post. So now we don't find these penny post anymore, but to transfer the telegrams and letters and whatnot, these were the very beneficial in 18th, 19th, and early part of the 20th century. So these literally transformed, absolutely transformed transportation and communication, which again gave boost to all these factors which we are talking about. Cool. So these were the salient features. I once again repeat them for you. England plus textile, boost plus agriculture, commercialization plus infrastructure development. Cool guys. So now finally we are back to the evaluation of industrial revolution. So what do you mean by evaluation of industrial revolution? It's one of the most unique phenomena which happened in 10,000 years of human history. So that's why its evaluation needs better clarification from my side. See, neo-capitalist class was not there before. Let me be very frank. This class emerged only because of IR, that is Industrial Revolution, and sole motive was profit. No matter exploitation of labors, it doesn't matter. This exploitation plus profit, these were the two things. It provided boost to nationalism. How did it provide? Earlier, there was no concept of called nation. Entire Europe was divided into very small land and communities, and they were owned by local landlords. There was no concept of nation except, let's say, with Britain and Austria. So it started with Britain and Austria, and it concluded in way back in late 19th century with the unification of Germany and Italy. So this was because of a nation identity provided by IR. Like they used to say कि जर्मनी हम ज़्यादा कोल प्रोड्यूस करेंगे, हम ज़्यादा आयरन प्रोड्यूस करेंगे, हाउ कैन ब्रिटेन डिफीट अस, हाउ कैन ब्रिटेन बीट अस. So then used to say no, we are British, we are Germans. So this you led to development of nationalism. Finally, one of the most important changes which occurred was in the social development scheme. So the new classes emerged, and it led to bifurcation of society, as you already know, in capitalist and proletariats. So read more in it in the Marxism. What were these two classes? They used to say that these are 5%, they are 95%. So these have all the resources of production, and these guys work for them. So anyways, it's a topic for a different issue, but just remember, let's say, how do I describe this social development? आप गांव में बैठे हैं, अपने गांव में बैठे हैं, मस्त हैं, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. नाउ सडनली समवन केम्स कि आप आज गेहूं नहीं उगा सकते, अब वीट कैन नॉट बी प्रोड्यूस बाय यू हैव टू प्रोड्यूस कॉटन. चलो, नाउ इट्स इन कंपल्शन, यू हैव टू प्रोड्यूस कॉटन. सो व्हाट डू नाउ? यू प्रोड्यूस कॉटन बट यू डोंट हैव एनीथिंग टू ईट, right? Nothing to eat. Now your common land has been converted into what you called as enclosure movement, the private land, as I already described. So now since it's private, enclosure movement converted into private land, so now you are poor, betrayed, battered, and bruised. Now you have nothing to feed to your family. So for the sake of your family, you go to these factories and start working for so-called the neo-capitalist class, and finally you become what we call as the proletariats. Cool guys. So that's it, and finally, to crush all these three factors which were against the proletariats and the downtrodden, a Luddite guy, he was a leader of Labour Party in Britain. So he started what we called as the Luddite movement or Luddite development. It was a socialist movement, one of the first socialist movement in the world. It was pro-labor class movement, and objective was they used to destroy all the industries, factories, machineries. They used to hinder production, they used to hinder manufacturing and whatnot. So they used to destroy industrial setup in Britain, and it was associated with emancipation of labor class. So they wanted that labor class should enjoy some rights. So that led to development of trade unions later, and then there was development of certain rights for these classes. So the final summary in one line, if I want to conclude industrial revolution, will be this: industrial revolution gave a revolutionary turn. It was literally a revolutionary turn to the world's event. Earlier they were turning like this, world events were going like this at a very slow pace. This is how it used to rotate. Now it was rotating something like this. The pace increased like anything else. So this pace, and finally it acted as a foundation stone for modern world. This was also one of the most important feature. It acts as the foundation stone for modern world. There was no concept of modernization before 1750s. Renaissance did come in mid 15th century to 16th century, but it was not associated with modern world. It's more or less about ideas and rationalism and analysis and logic. It was about Renaissance, literally meaning rebirth. So anyway guys, so this was about industrial revolution. I hope you liked the video. So this was the part 2. Do go and watch part 1 before this, and this is our channel, Unacademy UPSC. This is the website, unacademy.upsc.com. And if you do like this video, do like and share, subscribe, and this is my Facebook page, ramanjineya.official. Do message me any queries whatsoever. You will get your reply within 24 hours. That's a personal guarantee, as I already been saying. And tweet to me at my handle at ramanjineya. Thank you for watching this video, and thank you for indulging me. Best of luck for your studies. Bye bye.